Hi, everyone. Welcome to the live streaming. Glad to see everyone here. AB 2003. Just wait. You're about to find out. So today's live episode is going to be referencing an article that I came across that was slightly triggering, but then I realized it was written in 2013. So I have linked it here within the live chat. I'll probably be linking it a few other times if I can remember. So you guys can know what I'm talking about. Okay. So what I'm talking about today is an article that I came across that was pretty much titled "Why Bitcoins Are the Dumbest Investment Ever." And so what I'm going to be doing today, I think this article is a very good representation of what a lot of skeptics of Bitcoin think. And so I'm just kind of going to go through his 5 points and give you guys my counter argument. And of course, everyone, feel free to leave your opinions in the comments. Not like I need to tell you that. That usually happens anyway. But hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you. Please say hi in the live chat. I tend to be pretty terrible at managing the chat while hosting this live. So I do want to kind of be focusing on the topic today and the article and the important information. And maybe at the end, I'll begin the chat a little bit. Who knows? I'm thinking this will last about 30 minutes. So again, hello, everyone, and welcome. Just getting a little warm up here. It's been already about 2 minutes. See how many other people we can get to come in here so then everyone can be on the same page when I get started. So for those of you just joining us, I have the link for the article that I'm talking about. I have posted in pretty much on the top of this live chat group. But here, I'll post it again because I can never post it too many times, I guess. And there you go. Okay, so really funny is the title of it. I don't want to be hating on this guy too much. It was written in 2013, and it was clearly written by someone who has not taken along at the time of writing it. He had not obviously took very much time at all to really understand what Bitcoin is, what it represents, why it was created, and what makes it a powerful monetary tool. So, hi everyone. We have about 100 people watching. That's awesome. I definitely tried to get a few links out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and here on YouTube about an hour in advance so you guys could all tag along and catch it live. So hi everyone. Again, say hi in comments. I'll be getting back to you guys as best I can. But anyway, I'm going to be focusing on the topic for today. So I think it's about that time, guys. Let's get into it. If you want to follow along with the article that I'm talking about, I have it linked there in the comments. So if you're feeling triggered already, don't worry. I got your back. So here's an article written by a man who runs a blog about finance and his investment strategy called Darwin's Money, the financial evolution for the masses. And somehow he doesn't see how Bitcoin is an evolution of money. Kind of funny there. But don't worry, we're gonna hit you with some knowledge today. So 5 reasons why Bitcoins are the dumbest investment ever. He has an intro paragraph. So I'm going to go through this article, and I'm definitely going to be supplementing with my own opinion and some counter arguments. And again, if you guys have anything additionally you'd like to share, leave it in the comments. All right, so here we go. He starts it off by saying, again, this was written on April 4th, 2013. So if you haven't heard of Bitcoins by now, you will soon. I'm sure after 2017, everyone has heard of Bitcoin. They are recently profiled in this week's Business Week. They have skyrocketed since the Cyprus banking mess. And in a nutshell, it's an alternative currency play which resides in cyberspace only. There is no physical exchange, no regulatory oversight, not even an inkling as to who even invented the concept. Okay, right off the bat, He acknowledges that the price of Bitcoin went up in 2013, shortly after Cyprus was experiencing or had gone through a bailout. But really, it was a bail-in because I believe they ended up using, or they were threatening or thinking of using, the deposits of the actual individuals who use the bank to cover the bank's losses and keep it afloat. Now, if that wasn't ever a use case for Bitcoin, I don't know what is. We'll be mentioning that as we get down to his other points of things like speculation and real-world utility, which is kind of ironic that he could not put those two together. Anyway, he says, it may well be the most prolific internet hoax of all time, or someday people may actually use Bitcoins for routine exchanges for goods and services. Side note, do you guys use the phrase Bitcoins, like plural? Because I don't, unless I am talking about specific quantities, which at this day and age, you're talking about multiple Bitcoins. That doesn't happen too often with the price that it is. When you talk about Bitcoin, do you call it Bitcoin or Bitcoins? Just a side note there. Leave your option, or leave your opinions in the comments again. So he talks about, there was a pump and then a crash after hackers attacked a major exchange, Mt. Gox, and investors sold in herd-like fashion. Now he's saying these are several reasons outlining why investing in Bitcoins, that's kind of triggering in itself, may well be the dumbest investment move you've ever made. Just because hindsight is 2020, we now know that Bitcoin was the best performing investment of the decade. So right off the bat, not the dumbest investment. And I am not going out on a limb to say that this guy is not a forward thinker, or what we would assume to call an early adopter. I did a video a couple months back talking about like a mindset of an early adopter. Really interesting video. I think you guys should check it out if you haven't yet already. I don't think this guy qualifies in that category. Anyway, first point that he brings up is called speculation to the 10th degree. Oftentimes, speculation gets a bad rap. Remember when oil prices were resulting in record gasoline prices at the pump? He talks about, oftentimes politicians, when they don't understand or particularly like a way that the free market is transacting, they often blame speculators. He's saying they're often right, or they're hedging, yada, yada, yada. He's saying Bitcoin really is worse than gambling at the casino, saying that at least at a casino, you have a modest chance of making a few bucks over a long period. However, with Bitcoins, he says there is nothing to go on. You'll never take physical possession of one. There's very little history to what little history exists, and what little history exists isn't even a viable context in which to judge future returns, which is kind of something that most people say to cover their asses, really, but it is sound advice that past performance is no guarantee of future performance. Anything can happen. Anyway, he should know that for any investment that he's in. But he's saying today we are just as likely to see a 50% increase as we are a 50% decrease. Well, welcome to a brand new asset, really, and price discovery. That brings volatility with it. And he's saying how he's also, on a side note, we're going to learn that he's definitely not into gold, which is kind of funny also, and definitely shines a light on his opinion even further. But he's saying how, it's just speculation. It's not actually anything that you will never take physical possession of one, which is ironic because Bitcoin, other than cash or gold, guarantees your possession of that item. Most gold people have, if it's not physical gold, they have it represented in paper form, and same with stocks. It's not, you're trusting a third party is going to, it is a great way for you to actually hold your guaranteed possession of Bitcoin. Okay, anyway, so that's he's saying it's all about it's as close to pure speculation as you can come, but speculation based on no thesis other than hope. The irony there of him even saying that the price of it was linked to the Cyprus banking mess, that just went right over his head. And again, he says now his next point is no real world utility. People invest in some very obscure things. They invest in anything from art to wine to future cash flows from highway tolls. But all of these things have some sort of benefit, from paying cash flows to the likelihood to sell for more in the future due to scarcity. Hello, Bitcoin, and inability to replicate. Oh, hello, Bitcoin again. You can't counterfeit Bitcoin. You can, without a fact, without a doubt, the limited supply of Bitcoin, and that it will never increase from there. So, and again, talking about real world utility, the what we're seeing in Venezuela, what we're seeing in other countries that are being threatened by hyperinflation, or citizens who are seeing their currency inflate at a much higher rate that is alarming to them, or if they're freaking out about the fact that their money isn't really in the bank, like we saw with Cyprus, like we saw with many people before, runs on the bank, Bitcoin seems very attractive to them. And if that's not real world utility, I don't know what is. So, okay, I've been reading this for a while. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. I'm going to very terribly go through your comments really quick. Here is the link to the article that I'm talking about, again, to those of you who are new. Talking about an article that is calling Bitcoin the dumbest investment ever. It was written in 2013, his state of mind, and my counter arguments to this. So I just thought this is an interesting thing, especially to go live with, have some conversation about. Okay, so back to the article. Point number 3, even worse than gold. He said he has cited the downsides and absurdity in throwing your net worth behind gold before, saying that it's down. People just love the idea of an alternative currency play, something that is finite, that can't be printed by a government with no spending controls. He says, while I'm no fan of gold, at least it's something with the following properties. It's physical. It's very easy to quantify and relatively easy to exchange. It's been in circulation as a currency for millennia. It will always be a currency of sorts. And for the preppers, aka the doomsday preppers, if all hell breaks loose and dollars become worthless, at least you could trade gold for something. But Bitcoins, there he is again saying Bitcoins. You need an internet connection and willing partner on the other side of that trade to conduct a transaction, which I'm pretty sure is how any transaction occurs. You need someone else on the other side of it. Hello, trade. But okay, so one of these points is it's physical. Okay, you have that gold. It is physical. Bitcoin is not. But with a Bitcoin, without a shadow of a doubt, again, that Bitcoin is real. You can't counterfeit Bitcoin. You can get a rock, paint it gold, and try to, fool's gold. There's definitely that. He's saying it's easy to exchange now with cryptocurrencies. Since 2013, that has dramatically changed as well. I know we're seeing a whole lot of KYC with the centralized exchanges, but regardless, there are far more exchange options now than it was when this article was written. Okay, it's been in circulation as a currency for millennia. Again, he's talking about gold, but Bitcoin has been around for 10 years, and thanks to the Lindy effect, it is that much more likely to exist for another 10 years, at least. We never know what's going to happen in the future, but it has survived this far. The code has proven itself this far, and it has been successful. It has not shut down, and it's decentralized. Okay. In regards to the doomsday scenario, where let's say the internet gets shut down, we're going to be worried about a whole lot more than wanting to exchange Bitcoin. You're going to be worried about if you know how to cultivate the land to grow food for yourself, if you can locate fresh sources of good water to drink, that kind of thing. So yeah, I would say Bitcoin is a little bit on a different scale than that situation. And if you are a true doomsday prepper, I'm sure you're going to have some physical gold on you anyway. So there's always that. Definitely decentralize your holdings. But if it is just that, it doesn't have to be like this end of the world scenario for the US dollar to collapse. The internet can still very well survive the collapse of the US dollar. And if that were to happen, I bet you'd be very happy to have something like Bitcoin or a solid cryptocurrency that you can use to exchange digitally. That isn't gold where you have to be lugging it around with you everywhere where anyone can just rob you it. Now, if you're holding your cryptocurrency on a hardware wallet or on a USB device that you have encrypted, even though someone steals it from you, if they don't know your private key, if they don't know your passphrases, they can't access it anyway. So it's in a way much more secure than gold. Anyway, okay. So now on to point number 4. It is hackable. There's virtually no risk at all of your ownership in a stock ever being taken from you. Oh, really? Because you're actually the one holding your stock, or because you're trusting a third party to hold the stock for you? Yeah, there's some counterparty risk there for you. And cash and gold, sure, they can be stolen, but there are measures in place that you can reasonably undertake to protect your physical assets. But Bitcoin, I'm just going to say that, it's flying blind. If hackers can take down government websites, steal the most prolific corporate secrets, hack military secrets, and more, don't you think they'll figure out a way to snake some Bitcoins? Either by creating more for themselves, which they can't do, because unless they fork the code and they create a whole new different coin, that is not replicating Bitcoin. That is a whole new coin that needs a whole other dedicated network to support the transactions of it. Anyway, ultimately rendering the currency as worthless, which again wouldn't happen, or by just stealing yours out of your account. Okay, let's think about this. Maybe he's saying they can brute force attack your private key. That is highly unlikely to happen. In fact, I came across a pretty interesting analogy for trying to brute force or hack a private key. It is akin to counting to infinity in that the sooner you begin, the faster you will never finish. I'm probably totally hacking that. Let's see, I have it right here. It says, trying to crack a private key with brute force attack is a bit like trying to count to infinity. The sooner you begin, the faster you'll never get there. Okay, so there's that. I almost got it. A brute force attack on a private key is highly unlikely to happen. What is much more likely to happen if your Bitcoin were to get stolen is that a hacker has targeted you specifically with, say, a phishing email, or they have somehow obtained your computer or your cell phone. Hopefully you're not storing too much cryptocurrency on a wallet on your cell phone, because it is very hackable. Definitely if it's even like an Apple device, hello backdoors. Anyway, that is how a Bitcoin will get hacked most likely. Or, of course, like we've seen time and again, is through these centralized exchanges. It is just a bucket of gold. No, it's a bucket of Bitcoin that hackers will love to get at. And they have lots of different attack vectors to approach with centralized exchanges. And so those are the ways that Bitcoin will be hacked. It won't be from the code itself. And again, this is just proving how little this man or whoever this writer is, how little they actually know about how Bitcoin works. And yet they are incredibly skeptical about it, which is great. You should be skeptical. You should have a lot of questions and challenge them. But if you're going to be so bold as to name 5 reasons why Bitcoin is the dumbest investment ever, maybe you should do some research. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, now this last one. This last one is slightly triggering for me. He's saying making a statement as the fifth reason why Bitcoin is a dumb investment. Thinking as an economist, there's nothing that bothers me more than people making a statement with their investments. When it comes to investing, you should be seeking to make the most prudent investment for your given objectives, which usually include risk tolerance, time horizon, and diversification goals. But to invest in something because it is the antithesis of something you find objectionable, that is just silly. You don't like the notion of a government being able to print unlimited amounts of currency, so you invest in gold. We've seen how that's worked out recently. 2013, the price of gold was tanking. But to invest in something as random and speculative as Bitcoin, come on. Okay, side note, Bitcoin was not random. It has been in the works thanks to people like the cypherpunk movement since like the very early 90s. Time and again, there have been attempts at creating a digital currency, and Satoshi Nakamoto, thankfully, figured out how to get around the Byzantine general's problem and establish a consensus around the network without requiring a centralized third party. Not random, completely intelligently designed. Okay, speculative, okay, 2013, but again, like we saw with Cyprus, and there's certainly use cases for Bitcoin even in 2013. He says, if you want to make a statement, go out and vote libertarian or write your local congressman. Don't piss away your hard-earned money on an internet hoax. Okay. Well, I'm not a complete at all believer in the political system, as some of you may know, especially if you've been following me on Twitter as of late. I've been going a little bit crazy on that. Excuse me. Phone should be on silent. So think for me, I think you vote best by voting with your Bitcoin or dollar or whatever fiat currency you are forced to use at the moment. Voting with your dollar is a great way to send a message to different businesses and governments and politicians as to the interests of the public. And what better way to make your vote known than to exit that system altogether and enter a completely free, voluntary, beautiful, decentralized system that is Bitcoin and the subsequent cryptocurrency ecosystem that now exists thanks to its creation. So, man, I say make a frickin' statement. Stand up for yourself. And yeah, I mean, everything about this article represents what the most skeptical people of the crypto space believe. And so I think it's great to look at articles like this and really pick it apart and really understand where they're coming from. And that was kind of the whole goal of this video going live here, is to show you what I think when I read something like this. So this article was written on April 4th, 2013. And let me just say, on November 29th, 2013, so nearly 8 months later, guess who bought some Bitcoin? This guy. Kind of funny and really freaking ironic. Here is the article to his next article that he wrote, pretty much telling people how they can expect to buy Bitcoin in November of 2013. He has more or less succumbed to the FOMO, admitting to realizing that at that point Bitcoin was at a bubble. And that article that I just linked to in the comments is freaking hilarious because it's really funny because he's admitting at the end of the article that he doesn't have an investment plan for it and that he really has no idea when to sell because what if it goes to $20,000 in 2 years, when ironically it took 4 years and it reached there. So after that, he has dedicated, if you look at this website, I mean, don't waste your time too much. He has like a dedicated section for Bitcoin, and these are the only 2 articles listed there. So he kind of gave up on that. So I'm guessing that he sold, and then he's kind of a no coiner now. Well, maybe he's a converted guy. I don't know. He's not writing about it either way on his articles. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. 281 people. Thank you guys. If you guys enjoy this, definitely leave a like, share it out so other people can watch this, especially if they're skeptics, see what they have to say, see what other things they're skeptical about Bitcoin about, and get a conversation going and broaden your perspectives from both ends. Maybe there's some things that you've been a little bit too, seeing this cryptocurrency space through rose colored glasses or whatever, rose tinted glasses, or maybe they need to expand their horizons and understand why Bitcoin was created in the first place, what makes it really valuable, what gives it its real world utility. I cannot talk today, guys. Got to hang on with me. Hey, everyone. Thank you for coming in the chat. So now is the time for me to awkwardly scroll through the comments, see if there's any questions. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and frame it with like question in all caps, so it kind of catches my eye. So now that's what I wanted to talk about today. If you guys are curious what I think about things like KYC, what I think about regulations in this cryptocurrency space, I invite you to explore some of my more recent videos. I've definitely been hitting on those kind of topics as of late. And I think it's really important information to, again, think about, to look into, and form an opinion about it. Will 9K reject, or are you bullish in the short term? Well, crafty method. You may not know this about me, but I tend to cost average my way in, and I can watch that price in a very stress-free manner, not thinking in the short term. So I don't have a crystal ball, and that's why I don't try to mess with that. You all know I like it when the price goes up, but I'm not sweating too hard when the price goes down, because I have taken the time to really try my best to understand the core values of cryptocurrency and why it exists. And that is pretty much in a nutshell what this channel is all about, by the way, if you didn't know that already. So Clinkify, sorry if I straddled. Did you leave Steam for library? I have stepped away from Steam for a while. I haven't posted in a few months, simply because I was just getting met every time I posted with censorship. The very thing that I think Steemit was built to, be a solution for, like the censorship often found on Reddit or Facebook or most centrally controlled social medias. And essentially one person was affecting my ability to have a reach on Steam. And that was like not what I was trying to, support. So there have been some great people on Steam that I've come across that are still friends. But I don't know. I feel like Steam has become very bot oriented. And so I'm stepping away from Steam. I still have my account there and all of that. But anyway, library has been a very easy way to to secure better my videos that I post here on Facebook. So at least they're locked in on library. And if anything were to happen to this channel, you can always find my content there. If you go to lbry.tv, just search crypto tips, and there I am. So, okay. Did the channel's name get inspiration from trainer tips? No, I am not familiar with trainer tips. Sorry, maybe I should Google that one, or not Google. Sorry, forgive me. DuckDuckGo that one and see what that's about. Um, do you take any cash profits when Bitcoin is overbought? Yeah, I have a investment plan that I stick to that keeps my head on straight. And if I need to, or if I think it is a good opportunity, I take some profits. I encourage everyone to do that because we live in a world that is still run by fiat. And until I can pay my bills in Bitcoin, it is slowly getting there, but definitely not anywhere there yet, at least not in Portugal. Yeah, so I'm going to have to, I think everyone has to go into fiat at some point, unfortunately, truly unfortunately, but that is the way it is. Um, do you think Craig Wright tried his house keys to unlock his wallets? That's a good one. I just wanted to read that one out loud. That was funny. uh, for those of you wanting to know like mass adaption, wanting to know my top 5 altcoins, I have videos that go over my holdings and my low cap holdings, which are highly speculative. Talk about speculation. Check out my Patreon page. You can find me there, Crypto Tips. Again, I don't post there very often because I am bouncing around between that and a website that I'm building, which I'm hoping to kind of switch those out. But anyway, check out my Patreon page. I have videos there that talk about my holdings for those who really care. Do you trade Bitcoin options? Hell no. I am out for the real thing. So I cost average and I hold as best I can. Bitcoin halving is going to be interesting. Do you think so? Or do you think it's already priced in? A lot of people think it's already priced in about a year in advance. Cool. So I don't want to waste everyone's time reading these comments. But anyway, I really appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you for everyone taking part in the comments. Hope you guys had a great time. Hope that you enjoyed the perspective of both this article that I read and some of the counterpoints that I brought up. If there's anything that you think I missed out, please leave a comment down below. Let's get a conversation started. Let's learn from each other. It's a good thing. Good thing. So 292 people. Awesome. 32 minutes. I think that's good for a live show. Anyway, thank you guys again. I will be going through all your comments and reading them. It's really hard for me to read 2 things at the same time. I don't know anyone who can do that, but it's not me. Anyway, so really glad that you guys enjoyed this. Next time I go live, I will be posting it again on the same platforms that I did for this show. So on Twitter, on Instagram, and on the community section of this channel, you will get my notifications, preferably a couple hours in advance. Today was an hour in advance, but a little bit of a heads up there for you. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be seeing you guys soon. In the meantime, hope you guys have a good one. Bye.